welcome back. WeArEuS, and this is the Forgotten City. If memory serves, last episode we managed to finally resolve the issue between our buddy, what is this guy's name? Rufius? And Virgil. So, now at the very least, that can no longer spiral into devolve into senseless violence. That will kill everyone here and force me to do everything we did in the last video over again. Now, the only thing we actually have to do right now is these, but we did hear an interesting rumor from Aurelia, wherein she overheard Georges talking to Kabosh, who has gone missing, along with Scintilla, and I think another person, I don't remember who. I remember not Georgius, but our buddy who's always there, the first person we talked to, mentioned before, the very first time we met him. Well, that's new. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and talk to Georgius, who I'm sure is the guy directly right next to Virgil's shop, let's call it.
Greetings, I'm Georgius.
I know. You want to know where I'm from, but really I want to ask you some questions.
My friend, your words intrigue me more and more. But yes, very well. Ask me what you will.
I'm looking for Kabosh, and I heard you were one of the last people to see him.
I knew this day would come. I do not wish to lie to you, my friend, but even discussing this matter is dangerous. Please, let us leave the live coals safely beneath the ash.
You can trust me. We foreigners have to stick together. Remember?
Very well. But the magistrate would not look kindly upon this, so please keep it to yourself. For several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the temple of Demeter.
So?
Each day, I leave offerings of food in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest, and yet the next day when I return, the food is missing.
But how is that a problem?
The offering, it is symbolic, you see. It is never eaten.
As one
So
would
I
expect.
ask, who or what is devouring the food in this temple? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see if I could spot a thief going in. But do you know what I saw?
Not a clue.
Nothing. Nobody entered, and yet when I went to take a look, my offering was gone. It is bizarre, is it not? When I told my friend Kabosh of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in, and to my dismay, he was never seen again.
Alright, I'm off to the Temple of Demeter then.
I do not think you should pursue this, my friend. It would break my heart to be responsible for two people disappearing. But you do not strike me as a kind of person to be deterred by such warnings, so just be careful, I beg you.
I think I can manage that. Or I'll die and we'll meet here again. So, where the frick is the Temple of Demeter? Is that... Why is it not marked here? I don't know where the fricking temple is. Should have fricking asked him.
Greeting. But
Let's see. I am curious to what you're going to do about voting now.
Sendius, I suppose. I wouldn't say I hold him in the highest esteem, but he has managed to keep order so far.
They really want me to... They really want me to make... I don't remember the guy's name, and I just saw it a second ago. WeArEuS, that's his name. They really want me to help WeArEuS become the magistrate. We might consider that later.
But of course. I hope that...
Okay, so apparently I can't ask him where the temple is without having to go through that entire conversation again. I don't want to do that, so instead I'm going to look around for the plaque.
You look well, my Sartorial friend.
Where exactly is Demeter's temple? I don't want anything to happen while I'm not looking. Where does this go? I mean, I don't want anything to happen while I'm not around to see it happen. That way I can't, well, prevent it from happening by interacting with the people involved. I'm pretty worried about the election, though, because they really want us to help push WeArEuS as the new magistrate, but I don't know why. Is this Demeter's temple? I don't know what this place is, so I'm going to go ahead and save before we go in. I've got enough arrows to wage a very short war, so I may as well have it out just in case we come across something nasty. A Greek statue, probably of the goddess to whom this temple is dedicated. Perhaps a local Greek resident knows more about her. So this has to be Demeter's temple. I'd rather be the first to see and or hear whoever may be. Crumbling Greek sculpture of a woman. Clearly this has been here a long time. I have no idea why I'm stumbling over my words like that. Ugh. Sure wish I was leveling my sneak right about now. Lyre. Played by strumming it with a... was it a spectrum? No, it's a plectrum, right? Yeah! Sure hope no one dies while I'm out adventuring. I mean, I hear it. Do you guys hear it? Well. Wait, we're going the wrong way, aren't we? The frick is this? If there were any other game, I'd be mining those for resources. Well, I say any other game, but that is undoubtedly not the case. Should I? Wait, there we go. Oh, a plaque. A Greek plaque which translates to "the many shall suffer for the sins of the one." There's also a door here which tickles my fancy. I like the tickle.
Come and join me by the fire.
I'm okay standing right here.
Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
Milus, naturally.
It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here?
I'd rather not give away too much, so I found this place by accident.
Then perhaps the fates brought you here to learn the secrets of this place. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself.
I get
The
that.
one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question.
Oh,
Have you deduced the name
Yeah.
of the god responsible for the Golden Rule?
Pluto, the god of the underworld.
Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue?
If I must.
Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong?
That is not as simple as it seems.
You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the Golden Rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult.
But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, yeah, that would be the case if I were struggling with the idea of the difference between right and wrong. Yeah, sure.
Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep. Wait. But whose version of right and wrong?
That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow intention and always do the right thing.
No.
Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet?
Let's see. Yeah, I suppose we just haven't figured it out yet.
After hundreds of years, and as many great thinkers dedicating their lives to these questions, what hope do we have if our best and brightest haven't been able to answer them?
I feel like I'm missing something with this line of questioning. Something that feels like it should be obvious, but I'm just not seeing it. Or possibly I'm overthinking it. Well, we'll just plunge straight ahead. So what is the point then?
My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong.
What about do not kill?
Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be made, such as where it is necessary for self-defense or to prevent a greater evil. For any rule, you can imagine there are countless situations in which that rule may be suspended, and those situations are impossible to codify. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
And that's the greatest joke of all. I agree.
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions.
First off, what is your story?
You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story.
I'm listening.
I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night I found myself in a tavern, in an argument with a drunk mercenary. It became heated, he drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, But even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny.
Yeah, Hades would just be another name for Pluto. We don't need to interact with that. Why can't you tell me your name, buddy?
I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive.
So we just call him the Hermit Philosopher from now on. Where is everyone else?
I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I had not seen another person in many, many years.
I'm curious to know why you can't return to the surface.
My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again.
Got it. So how exactly have you survived down here alone?
Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner.
I get that.
As you wish.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Do you know a way out of here?
If I did, would I be living like this?
You make a good point. I think we know where he stands on the Golden Rule. Do you know where I can find a plaque that was removed from the obelisk?
You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian inscription.
That's the one?
It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to give it to you, if Kabash had not already taken it.
Alright, then where's Kabash?
I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the Shrine of Persephone became the Shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans.
I'm with you so far.
However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription.
How did it get here?
We had no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail.
What's in there? Can you give me any clues?
There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate.
Understood. All right.
I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes?
All right. Well. Where does this go? Oh, it goes right back to where we came in from. I don't think I can jump back up there. Maybe I can. Hold on. Nope. Definitely not. If it weren't for these natural dildos, we may be able to make it easily. I mean, I could go all the way around, but why would I do that? Friend of the philosopher. Okay. I'm probably going to have to talk Kabash down, because if I have to kill him, well, that's it for everyone up top. Because I highly doubt the golden rule gives two farts whether I'm killing in self-defense or just for the fun of it. Interesting. Good to know that that doesn't exist. And good to know I'm going to be dealing with that. No surprises. Locked from the other side. At least that one had the decency to stay down. There's not even any water here. I see 2 of them. 3 of them. I think there's one somewhere I can't see. It's off to my immediate left. Don't mind spending the arrows on them. I just can't tell if there's a better way to go about it. Yeah, there's one very close to us. Right there. Still 2 remaining. Egyptian board game. The board for an ancient game called Senate, the rules of which are long forgotten. Sounded like there might be something inside. Sniper, no sniping. Frick. I might have been able to catch it before it made its way up to me, but that's just not going to be the case with my frame rates not being as stable as I would prefer them to be. I only see one moving. Not like that means all that much. Come on. I saw another vase that had arrows in it. Where are they? I know I saw it. Maybe it was that. Well, I guess we know where we're going now, don't we? I can't run and jump because that seems like that's apparently a foreign concept to anyone who makes mods. Oh, I guess the Egyptian plaque, which translates to "the many shall suffer for the sins of the one." Huh. So apparently if you didn't have enough arrows to take care of the issue, you know, this way, I probably should have just taken this route down. Great. If you didn't have enough arrows to take care of them, you could have just snuck around them and traveled over their heads. I, however, have my doubts about that sort of action because what if you need to come running through here to save your life? And that is Kibosh. Oh, he's got a bow.
Stop. Do not come any closer. Who are you?
I'm Milas, and I'm assuming you're Kibosh, but we'll pretend we don't know that.
I am Kabash. And let me guess. Another Greco-Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors,
I look Greco-Roman to you?
Trousers, boots, curious here. No, I suppose you do not. Then what do you want?
I'm just looking for an Egyptian plaque.
To what end?
I want to return it to the obelisk.
That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you? I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain. Here, take it and restore the honor of Osiris.
And just like that. Thank you.
Now, as for the other plaque.
The fourth plaque, you know about that.
Indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was.
May I have it?
You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it.
Why?
Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie.
How so?
I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is?
The Egyptian underworld.
It has a name, and that is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story, and here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew.
I can see why you'd be unhappy with the Greeks and Romans then.
I am glad to hear it, which brings me to this other, fourth plaque. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this I cannot accept.
Of course not.
I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more.
What does the inscription say?
You will never know. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the black abyss below in Osiris's name.
I see how this is going to have to go. I'm going to have to kill him. Reset the world and do all of this, except for coming back down here over again. There may be a way to talk him down. And it's one of the top two options. If he destroys it, this entire loop is completely worthless. Because we need that plaque in order to return it to whatever obelisk it stood on. But how do I get him to give it to me without having to kill him? Because I prefer to stick to this loop. Of course, if someone up top were to kill someone right now, that'd be all too helpful. Then I'd be able to kill him and just yank it from his gold dead grasp. I imagine that going with this more forceful option here would be preferable. Especially since it also communicates that we need the plaque for something, which if it might gain his curiosity and stop him from just tossing it into the hole. If we're wrong, this loop is we have to start over again. Normally, I would go with the first option, but I think for this specific situation, he seems really determined, and we need to communicate the fact that we are just as determined, that it's just as crucial that we get the plaque and make use of it. Hopefully that'll be enough.
You are too late. It is done.
And now I have to go in after it.
You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
We'll see. First, I apparently have some questions for you.
If it will help you to see reason, then ask.
I don't really care how you got out here or any of that. Don't really care what you think about the Golden Rule, but I'd like to hear it.
I think if someone is to break the Golden Rule, it will not be me. For I try to live as I always have by the command of the goddess Ma'at. Do to the doer to make him do. As for the punishment that will come from it, I finally understand why it has long been said among my people that gold is the skin of the gods.
So what do you think is down that hole you just threw those things? You just tossed that, frankly, invaluable plaque down into. Jeez.
I do not know. What could possibly lie beneath the underworld? Perhaps it is infinite darkness. Perhaps it is the lair of Amit, the devourer of souls. All I know is it would be unwise to venture down there.
Yep, well, I still have to go.
Is everyone so contrary where you are from? Do not even consider it.
Anyway.
Be gone from this place. Wait. You are planning to go down there. I see it in your eyes.
Yep.
You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
I'll find a way.
We shall see.
Yeah. Does no one else find it strange that we have this lit up square to the right here? Oh, that's curious. I do want to go around and make sure that we haven't missed anything here. Frankly, it's better to just have the bow out. It's free night vision. Look at that. And that's that.
You are still here.
Not anymore. A Sumerian plaque bearing the cuneiform inscription Nergal the Fierce One. I would imagine it's more like Nergal than Nergal, but... Wouldn't it be nice if there were no problems and we could just walk back to the surface? Wouldn't it have been nice if we didn't have to come down here in the first place? So much potentials for what ifs. Air is coming in through here. large boulder which appears to have rolled into the wall, smashing it open, causing water to flow out. I'd rather not waste an arrow on it. An eroded set of barricades. It looks like these Sumerians were trying to defend themselves from something. Fat lot of good it did them. Ancient stone tablet. Stranger, heed the final words of Namkuzu. Bear witness to our aftermath and lament us. We did our best to live as the gods commanded. We planted and harvested together. We shared bread and beer. We accepted newcomers with open arms as if family. But with each newcomer, the bonds of our family strained, and soon we were as strangers to each other. And when those bonds were finally broken, my brothers and sisters planted only for themselves, and ate and drank alone. And it was there, in the empty space between us, that sin took root. Nergal's sentinels have awoken and clamor at our barricades. Learn from our I hear you, Namkuzu. Also, that's cool. So we've got spikes here. A body at the bottom of the sea. I think there are two of them down there. Corroded brass plate. Corroded brass plate made with Sumerian markings on it. It appears to be a pressure plate for some kind of trap. There's nothing above us, so let's go around it for now. Make sure that we have seen all that there is to see. Barricades, naturally. Frankly, where that woman's barricaded, she should have been able to survive. Like, she's in a really good spot. Then again, like, you could just stand up and this over here is where she'd probably be untouchable. Except for, like, if they were to come around. Anyway. I don't know why, but I'm mostly just looking for money. I don't imagine there would be any, as the money would have no actual value up top. So we've got how many different civilizations built upon? We've got the Roman up top, we've got Greek underneath it, and Egyptian and Sumerian. So we've got 4 civilizations buried below the Roman one. So that's directly across, as I figured. That's this way, though. Nothing. I can't even go any further forward. Let's just go ahead and avoid interacting with those trap plates, shall we? He said, despite the fact that there's one right ahead of him.
When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise. You will die here.
There is no need for this to end in violence. Seriously.
I disagree. I warned you against coming down here, against perpetuating this sacrilege, but you persisted. You have undermined and dishonored the true god of the underworld. How did you think this would end, if not with bloodshed?
Does he not get the part where this is just a cycle of, frankly, idiotic people building upon idiotic people? Clearly, the idea hasn't escaped him. He just refuses to see reason.
Very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception, or if you further insult my gods, I will carry out my threat. So tell me, why should I let you live after you salvaged this instrument of blasphemy?
If something can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. What? If something... Either way, we get the plaque. I'm not about to die to this guy with a bow that doesn't turn people to gold. It's just not happening. But there's no point in me lying to him or trying to be philosophical about it. I'm just trying to replace all the plaques taken from the desecrated obelisk.
Why? To what end?
I'm hoping it will earn me an audience with the god of the underworld.
But why? What business could you have with Osiris?
I'm going to confront him about the golden rule.
Blasphemous fool! You have sealed your own fate.
Well, if you attack me, you're going to break the golden rule.
Good. I welcome it. You see, the philosopher told me that each time it breaks, Osiris bellows with rage, and his voice shakes the very foundations of the earth. I can only hope one more tremor will lay waste to this fragile place once and for all, and you along with it.
That would actually be pretty annoying.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
I can't actually get out of here. Well, thankfully, since it didn't cause a loop, I don't have to live with the consequences of the actions that resulted in my having to start over again. Really happy about that, because it's not going to be that difficult. We had him.
When I told you that...
Yeah, shut up. There's no need for this. Yeah.
Very well.
Trying to replace
But
audience. Yeah, he's not going to like any of these. This one, maybe? I'm going to demand that he let everyone go.
blasphemous fool!
Yep, that's fine.
The many shall
At
suffer.
the very least, I'd like for him to turn to gold. Ah! So it appears that there's only one correct course. And that was the one that was, frankly,
Why?
obvious.
But doubtful. What do you know about honoring the Lord of Silence?
Nothing really, but does anyone really know much about him?
You speak the truth. Indeed, it seems we have all been deceived. Many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good lives so that we may descend to the Duat in death and be judged accordingly. We prepare to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales and to swear ourselves innocent of sin before the 42 assessors of Ma'at. And yet, I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. And now, I ask myself, did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all our lives simply to trick us into obedience?
This could still go sideways, I suspect. So he doesn't like the idea of being lied to. So it has to be the first one. Look, your priests probably did lie and steal and embellish the stories of an older people, but you can blame them for that, not me.
Blasphemer!
And
You have seen...
whatever.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh! Interesting. Very interesting. The water rises. Huh. Don't get me wrong, I don't imagine. Still sounds like I'm underwater. I need to get underwater. There we go. Still sounds like I'm underwater, right? Ugh. Whatever. Yeah.
Very... Why? But what? Doubtful. Many and yet did our priest...
And so we have to go with this one, which could still go tits up, and this would just be a... frankly annoying, but we'll go with it nonetheless. Isn't being a good person a worthwhile pursuit in and of itself, though?
I am not sure I follow. Speak plainly.
Because all of my previous guesses were wrong, I'm starting to doubt myself, but I'm going to go with this one. If you were only... See, I'm doubting myself, and I should just go with the first option that sounded right. If you were only good in life because you expected a reward, were you really a good person?
Now you insult me and all of my ancestors.
I'm insulting everyone.
You have...
Let's do this.
The many shall suffer for the sins of
Wow,
the
this bow is trash. Too high? Ah. What a garbage. Oh well. So basically everything I've thought was the right option, you know, past this particular point.
Why?
No, past this
But
point was wrong.
Weep and did I?
Are you going to abandon a lifetime of good character now that it matters most just because you found out you were misled?
You are persuasive.
I am
Very well. I
here for the
will let
fifth
you
time.
live, and you may do what you will with that plaque. I will remain here for a while and attempt to learn what I can about the foundations of my people's beliefs.
You are a trash human being, and I hope you stay down here forever. Not a fan of this. Why is water flowing now? Oh, can't even go down there. Ugh, what a terrible human being. Frankly, I'd have rather killed him and just reset the loop, but there was no way for me to get out of there alive.
Ah, you've returned.
Yeah, I tend to do that. Okay, we have three of the four plaques, right? We need the Greek one. Where might that be? I suppose we could try asking WeArEuS. Freaking finally. Okay. Despite all of that, we still haven't come any closer to figuring out where exactly Scintilla disappeared to. If she didn't end up down there, where the frick did she go? stone grate with holes in it. Perhaps there's another layer of the city under the forum. I want to go ahead and ask WeArEuS about the Greek plaque. Before I do... Dooley. Ah. Yeah. Dooley knows about the Greek plaque, too. Asking him might be better. He doesn't have the freedom to move, so
Hello?
he can't get upset or anything or do anything crazy. And I highly doubt anyone would actually be willing to talk to him or listen to what he has to say. Let's talk about your treasure.
My friend Hannibal
Yeah.
gave me all I now nobody looks.
Don't we have the key already? Let's make sure that we get that.
Hannibal
I can't get it unless I can get him out of here. Okay, let me talk to the magistrate about getting you out of here.
WeArEuS already tried that.
I don't think it's a good idea to break him out. So I might have to steal a key, and that's just not... No, we're not doing that. But the last thing I want to do is put WeArEuS in power. But to get the Greek... To get the freaking Greek plaque, I need to talk to this guy. Or I need the key from him. I don't trust WeArEuS to be the new magistrate. I really don't trust him to be the new magistrate, but I guess we might have to at least try.
Like WeArEuS? He's nice. I like WeArEuS. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious.
Ah. I'll see what I can do. I said not actually intending to do any of that. But I'd need the key to get into the upper cistern. And we already know there's something in there. Crap. I guess we'll go and drop by WeArEuS's perch. Yes. What's the status of the election?
Well, WeArEuS, why do you...
I'd like to nominate WeArEuS.
Oh, what a good idea. He is a virtuous and decent man, after all.
Yeah, I don't know about all of that.
He'd make a wonderful magistrate.
So, who's allowed to vote?
All of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course.
Can I vote then?
Well, you're not a citizen yet, so No, I'm afraid not.
And
But if it's any consolation, there are other ways to influence the outcome of an election.
naturally. But I'll hear you out if you have any interesting suggestions.
By using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Nothing untoward, of course.
Understood.
So,
Again, I don't necessarily trust WeArEuS. The last thing I want to do is having to run around doing favors for people just to get them to vote for. Let's see if we can get this guy to release Dooley.
Citizen,
We've had this conversation too, and I'm in a bit of a hurry. I'd like you to release Dooley.
You mean WeArEuS? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been.
What exactly did he do?
Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic, the law of the 12 tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline,
Haven't we trespassed
poor comprehension of what is
considerably?
going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now, was there something else? Thank you.
Yep, so he has to be replaced. Though I imagine that's only going to go sideways. Curious what's behind that door. Wait, WeArEuS is in here?
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them?
Yeah, I'm reliving the same day over and over again.
You're toying with me, right? Wait, you're not kidding, are you? That's the only way you could have known. You're a bit like... Oh, what was his name? Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Old King Sisyphus.
How so?
Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was given a terrible punishment. He was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill. Only, just as it reached the top, it would roll all the way back down to the bottom, forcing him to start over and over and over again for all eternity. Just like you. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. The Pleiades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But, on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
Yeah, at least there's that.
Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. And you just focus on finding a way to break the cycle you're in. Oh, and I'm in the running for magistrate. Feeling kind of nervous, but I'm hoping it'll all be worth it when I order Dooley's release.
I just hope I'll have the votes I need.
I have a feeling you'll do great.
Oh, that's kind of you to say. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll remember this next time we talk anyway, right? Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted. May fortune smile on you, friend.
And with that, I'm going to pause time so we don't lose any opportunities. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here. We had a bit of a rough patch back there in the, well, the depths, let's call them. So we've learned just this video that there have been 4 prior civilizations subjected to the exact same thing as what's going, well, subjected to the exact same, how do I put it? Also subjected to the golden rule. And they all also failed eventually. So, without question, it does have to be it has to be brought to an end. It's not accomplishing what it was set in place to do. In the beginning, yes, sure. But as we saw with, I think it was Kumatra or Kamuzu? Down in the Sumerian part of the depths. It started out fine, simple, easy to manage and keep everyone from breaking the golden rules, but the more people that came, the harder it became to keep them as one whole, and they eventually grew distant and someone broke the rule and killed them all. We need Dooley's key, and that means we have to get WeArEuS elected, which means we're probably going to have to go around doing people favors so they vote for him. It sucks, but it has to be done. And so, with all that said, we will see you next time.